Hello and welcome to another episode of My Fingers. Now we're going to paint actually. So I've got my paper. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? I've got this drink. This is unusual. It's actually just water with sugar in it. I thought I'd try it. Hot water with sugar in. Not bad. Yeah, I ran out of milk. And I was like, I don't really want black tea or black coffee. Then I thought, oh, why don't I just miss out the tea or coffee and just have the water and the sugar? And it's actually not bad. I don't mind it. Right, let's crack on with this painting. I'll talk about what drinks I'm having. Look at these watercolours. So the good thing about watercolours is if you use a bit of this designer white gouache, it thickens up your paint. So you're getting like a hybrid between using gouache and watercolour. And if you look how big this tube is compared to this, and how much cheaper this tube is to this, you get a little bit more bang for your buck by just putting a bit of gouache in. Just a little tip for you, a little tip from me to you, from one. I might put a few of these out so I know what I've got. One painter to another. One painter to another. What's that? Intense green. Also in brackets phthalo green. Well, we know phthalo green's intense, don't we? If you ever used that, whew, yep, it's a strong one. It's a strong one. I've actually used probably nearly all my sap green. Yep, I have. I've got Viridian green though. We've got here primary yellow. It's almost cadmium yellow. Speaking of, oh, that's Gouache. Gouache? Purple Lake. Interesting. Right, what are we doing? So, yesterday, if you watched it, don't worry if you didn't, it doesn't really matter. I did a bit of digital practice on painting some woods with some trees and then the light piercing through. And I wanted to practice before I went for it with the paints. And I'm re-looking at my image because I messed around with the image a bit on Photoshop to make it a bit pinker. And I do like it. But I'm thinking how I'm going to paint it because gouache, well, the issue is, let's just start painting. I've done all the thinking I need to do. Yeah, the issue is, oh, what is that? I think that's a purple. Or is it blue with red on it? Yeah, it's blue with a bit of crimson on it. Let's get some of that brown. Making a sort of a dull green. Yeah, the issue is with gouache, it does. Let's do this. Tree, tree, tree. Think I'm a tree, I'm a tree. I'm a tree. I'm not a Christmas tree. Oh, this is going on well. I'm a tree. Put this on along the bottom. Gonna make some more of it, green and brown. Don't matter too much if it's not exactly the same colour. In fact, I prefer it that it's not exactly the same, really. Some of these. So once I was sat on the farm and I was actually sat in the farmer's field, and the sun came out, and I was, because that's what I went for. I just went there and waited for the sun to go down, and I thought to myself, right, as soon as it starts going down, I'll probably have quite a while, like half an hour to an hour or longer, to do a painting. This is what I thought. So I went there, sat in the field, and I got a bit of a shock because the light was changing constantly. I was like, what's going on? The light is constantly changing. It's going from sort of, the cloud would come across and it would get a bit cloudy and a bit darker, and then that would just move away, and suddenly it got really light. And I was like, what's going on? And then it changed. The sun then come out behind this cloud and started piercing, and my eyes couldn't really adjust to what I was seeing. And I was like, this is a real challenge. This is harder than I thought. And I did get some good effects in my sketchbook. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm going to use that, what I remember, in this painting, the way I did it and everything. So sometimes when you just go out with your paints and you don't really know what you're doing. Because I feel like that, actually, every time I start painting. I think to myself, I don't really know what I'm doing here. It doesn't matter how many paintings I've done, I still feel the same way. And I think it's kind of exciting, because you're learning different effects all the time. And all kinds of different brush strokes on this. I want to go quite dark along this area, but I don't want to use too much water. So what I've got is I've got a tea towel here, if you can see it, yeah, and I just give it a wipe. So I just realised that I can spin my image upside down, because when I'm recording, the camera's up there, but it's upside down. So originally I found it quite hard to work out what I'm looking at, but now I've worked out that you can flip it. I'm like, oh yes, now I can see what I'm doing on my screen. So let's get some more of this, put a little bit of red in it as well. If you can see, there's a bit of this red in here. I'm just throwing that into my colour, making it a bit darker for down here. So this is a mixture of watercolours and gouache. I just throw them all together. Doesn't really matter. I mean, if you wanted, I was thinking this today. I was like, should I really start this painting with acrylic? Because then what I could do, I was thinking, is I could paint the initial bit, like the backgrounds, with acrylic, and then I could use the gouache on top of the acrylics, and then I could use pencils as well. I could go full on mixed media. And then I was like, well, that's going to make it a bit more complicated for myself. So then I was like, oh well, I'll just do gouache. Just do one. Gouache and watercolours is a good enough mix. If I can't get something with that, then I should be able to. And if I can't, well, there's issues. Not enough practice. Just using the corner of the brush, just to get in some different shapes in here. A lot of this we're not going to see, to be honest, but it will look better. It will look better because of this. Because of this work that we're putting in. I'm going to just push up a few strokes. So we're getting layers, you see, layers. Lots of layers. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know what I want for Christmas, I've just been told that I can get something for Christmas, what shall I get? Get yourself some watercolours and gouache, and then you can do some paintings. If you've never used them before, you can paint like this. And I'm mainly an oil painter, to be honest. Well, I try. I try to do it. And but I like doing this. There was a time when I didn't like doing anything other than oils. I would almost scoff at the idea. Not now. I'm a new man. Now I just get excited by painting, and it doesn't matter what I use. I used to scoff at digital painting as well, to be honest. I used to be like, ugh, that's not real painting. I'm going to get some of this lemon yellow. Lemon yellow. Oh, we haven't worked out. Oh, now my brush is falling to bits. Oops. A bit. I like this brush as well. I might have to get some more of these. Say graduate brush. De La Rowney flat wash. Number 1. Yeah, they're not really expensive brushes. I think they're about £2. And yeah, they do the job. Just because it says graduate and not artist, it doesn't matter. Gonna get a little bit of the white in with our yellowy greeny colour. The white just gives it that opaqueness that we need. Opaqueness. I think we're about in a colour we like. So I think we was going to go for a really bright yellow as the sky instead of what we was going to do. But I want some areas to pick up some colour as well. Some of the greens. So in some areas you see what I'm doing, I like sometimes I go like that just to get rid of some of it. I got into the habit of doing that, and then I got my oil paints out and I was painting away and I went like that. And I was like, oh, I really wish I didn't do that. Now I've got paint everywhere, oil paints. Little bits of light. I might go for a light blue. That'll do for now. Don't want to overdo that. Yeah, so what am I thinking? I was going to go with like a light yellow. So I'm going to have to change brushes because that brush is going to be too big. Where's the smaller one? Smaller one. I like this brush as well. This is a Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolour brush. 6mm or a quarter. Looks to me a bit like a filbert brush, but might be something else. Who knows? So I want to get some light. Oh, actually, what if I put the trees in? Let's start building the light up. I think what I need, so what I want, I want some blue. So I want to do the top part with like a blue. You see, it's tricky doing it like this because it's not going to be perfecto. But it'll look alright. It should look alright anyway. I don't know. Because I can put green on top as well. And we all paint in different ways. We can try it this way. I've already done something with digital tools, so I thought, why not do it with this as well? I'll just see what happens. So this is how I'd paint outside if I was going to set myself up and have a go at painting. I think this is the way I would do it. Get a nice bit of blue. I might go with a bit more blue for the top parts. Some of this paper's going to show through, but I don't mind. It's a sketchbook. What does it matter? I tell you what, that is a good thing actually. That what I just said. It doesn't matter because it's just a sketchbook. That's a good thing because it takes pressure off you then. Because some of us, and I say me, you think, oh, I'm going to have to do something brilliant. I need to do something brilliant. Otherwise, you know, if it's not brilliant, it's no good. And then I put the pressure on myself. But what if what you're doing, what you're painting, it doesn't matter because it's the pressure's off. It's a sketchbook. Oh, but it's just a sketchbook. Doesn't matter if it's not amazing. But it might become amazing. You might do a much better painting in your sketchbook than you've ever done in your entire life on a canvas. And that's great. So just take away that stress. That's what I'm trying to say. Take away the stress. You don't need it. Enjoy yourself. You can use sketchbook time as a relaxing time. Just going to break up some of this. You don't want it to be a complete mass of, well, I don't want it to be a complete mass of green. I want to break it up in areas. Get that light showing through. If anything, that light is what makes it better. Better! So, we got that kind of colour. And then it's going to switch now. I'm going to switch it up. Wash some of this off. That yellow might work out quite nice. White, yellow. Okay, let's move it there. Something like that. We'll start with that. See what it looks like in the page. Light. breaking this up with all this light, this beautiful light. Slosh, slosh, slosh. We'll leave that for a minute. It's sort of a yellowy white colour. I don't know if you can see it. It's not the best. I think you can see it alright. Right, let's put some trees in. Bluey. Let's use this area. What I want is a little bit of the, I think this is ultramarine blue under all that stuff. Yeah, it's get some brown and blue. Brown and blue. So we'll put in some trees. Right, so now here's the problem. You see it there? It sort of pulls away some of that light. It's not too bad. It's not destroying my tree really. And I've actually used it to lighten it a bit. So it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The trick really is to use a little less water when you want it to be really thick. So some people like doing their trees downwards. Some people go upwards, like they're growing. Just do what way you like the best. And you can throw in a bit more blue or a bit more. Or a bit more the grey. I've noticed I've got another brush. I might use that for a bit because it's finer. Is it going to be finer? Let's try it. Same colours, it's just blue and brown. I just wondered if it would do a nice thin. Yeah, it does. So you get a nice thin, more distant tree using this brush. This is just a cheapy one. Don't be fooled by brush makers. Cheap ones are just as good sometimes. You don't need to go out and spend loads and loads and loads of money on brushes. The art shop would love you for it. And I know I did. When I first started, I thought you need the best. How are you going to be a professional painter if you don't spend 20 quid on a brush? You'll never make it on a £1 set. But Jason, you tried the £1 set and it was brilliant. Well, don't tell anybody then. I don't want people to know. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's funny about the way we think about things. I suppose we're tricked a little bit. I'm not saying like expensive art materials aren't good, because sometimes they are. And there's no way around it. They are. I love expensive stuff. Why can't I buy it all? But it's not always a necessity. Necessity. It isn't always. Sometimes the cheap stuff works brilliant too. Didn't have enough water on my brush there. So I'm painting a whole forest here. As you get a bit more comfortable, you can start putting more in. And someone said once, I found this really interesting. They said, if you're using, say, watercolour, then why aren't you using it? I didn't really know what they meant, because what I was trying to do was use watercolour and gouache like I was painting with oils. And they were saying, well, you got watercolours there, so why don't you take advantage of what they can do? I was like, oh, okay. I still don't really know what they mean. Because I'm still doing this. Using them like, in my head, like oils really. I know what they meant by using the flow and stuff like that when you're painting, but I just like doing this. I don't really like doing traditional watercolouring stuff. I'm more of a more like this. I mean, I say traditionally when I went to the museum and looked at Turner's stuff, and Turner was the probably one of the greatest masters of watercolour painting, if not the best ever. I mean, they call him a supreme master of watercolours. So, and I saw in his sketchbooks he used white gouache with his watercolours. Yeah. I was there looking at his sketchbooks thinking, hang on a minute, white gouache? That's interesting. It's not where I learnt it, but it was where I first found out about it. Well, I first found out he did it. I knew of this method via a online art course by Nathan Fowkes and on Colour and Light, and he did one on using stuff like this. But I didn't realise it was a old thing that they did a long time ago, really. If you go in the museums, you'll see the artists used to use watercolours with gouache like this. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Right, so I want a good sized tree here. I need some trees there. Good sized trees, good sized trees. Yeah, we want a load of trees here because it's where we're going to have we want the light to be going shing out of this area, I think. Out of there, I'm thinking. So if I put a big tree there, where was I thinking there? A big tree there. Too much water. But it's kind of alright because I get that nice colour on the tree. Get a little bit of blue and white, get like this grey. I can put that on this tree. Well, that's quite bright. Don't want it like that bright. I want more blue in it than that as well. Oh, there we go. It's more like that. And that one as well. Bring out a few of these trees. Maybe this one can have a bit of light on it. That one. Yeah, this one. Maybe that one there. Get a few of these. I'll do this one as well. Why not? Okay, maybe this one just wants to be stuck out. Yeah, there we go. Right, let's have a look at that. We need the light to come out. Let's try this brush. Got a little bit of yellow. Got this yellowy green. This yellowy green we was using earlier. And that light is going to splash onto something here. Use some yellow, a bit more pure yellow. So we haven't touched the this front bit yet, have we? So we've got some bits of light here and there. Might do a bit there as well. Over here, maybe a little bit there. Why not? Now, I need a bit more blue. I need this foreground to be a bit more bluey coloured. So let's get a bit of ultramarine. French ultramarine. It's really good, is French ultramarine, love it. And I could do some, maybe I could put some dark down I could have done with dark all the way down to the bottom and then I could just highlight. I should have thought of that. So I can just go. See, I need some dark because I want my light to show up. Well, my dull light, I should say, not much light. I just need a bit of dark for it to go on. Let's move the camera a little bit. So I can use that, darken a bit. And then, when this dries, and once it dries, which it has miraculously, using my hairdryer, then I can start putting shapes. Yellowy, greeny, bluey shapes of fern. Doesn't need to be too light or anything. Just sort of brush stroke. I'm just sort of brush stroking it. Can throw a little bits of yellow in just to change it up a little bit in places. Might get some more dark as well to throw that in. So a lot of this, it don't really matter. It's just there. It matters a little less than some, but it's up to you how much detail you want to put into your painting. Sometimes when there's so much detail, I just don't bother. If there's just too much, I'm like, oh well, we'll just put in what we want. Put enough information in there for someone who looks at it to go, oh yeah, that's undergrowth. Because it would be dark in there. It would be. Dry brush just works really well. When the paint's a little bit dry, and then you can just sort of go, it just comes off, and you get nice effects. I think that'll do me for that bit. So now I want to put in the light, and what I was saying before when I was out there sat on the farmer's field thinking, how am I gonna capture that? How do I capture it? And I just couldn't at first. I was like, I just don't know what to do. And then I got a little bit of red. I thought, right, here's where my light's gonna come out. So I'm gonna put a bit of red in there first. I'm not going to go too crazy with the light. I'm not going to do a massive blob like I did in the digital one. We all make mistakes. But it's an experiment, and you learn from your experiments. Because I did do like a pink splodge as well, because it does work. And then give myself some yellow and white and go. And then just clean my brush, and I'm just going to pull a bit of that out. A nice light spot. I'm going to get some pure white and just put that in the middle. But that's sort of melting in, and then it's really hitting this bit there, so put a bit more of that light on it. Got a little bit too much water in my brush, but never mind. It's really, really hitting that spot there, there. Yeah, there we go. There's a my version of a bit of light in the forest, where the light's quite low and it just zoom. And if you've seen that sort of scene, it kind of melts away what's around it. And I might even put a touch more in this to make this a bit brighter. But I think that bit of red, it does help to warm it up and get like that sort of burning sensation. But anyway, there we go. There's our painting. I enjoyed myself, as always. I enjoy painting though. I really do. So I'm going to give it, I'm feeling confident, so I'm going to give it a JB. I forget to sign paintings. Sometimes, you know, this could be a bit of history of when they do a museum of Jason. They'll be like, oh, there's a masterpiece. When was this painted? Oh, 2021. Oh, well, now we know we can put it in the museum of great paintings by him. And I've just seen something else that I forgot to do. I use this little brush. Things you could do to make this better. How can you make it better? Put in more of the details, which is one way. Put in more of the details like these little branches and stuff. And some dark. Yeah, you could put in loads of branches and things and yeah, we could do this forever, couldn't we? We could paint forever. I could start putting green in front of that as well. I could start doing that, doing a bit of green in front of some of these areas. Have like green in front. Have a bit of light capturing some areas, touching up different changes in the colour. You could do all sorts. But I think I'll call this one finished. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.